On today's episode of Locked On 76ers, we dive into a huge game number 5. Is this the swing game for this 7-game series with now really a 3-game series between the Heat and the 76ers? What are the 76ers' chances? The keys to the game tonight. We'll dive into it all right here next, Locked On 76ers.
You are Locked On 76ers, your daily Philadelphia 76ers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Check out prizepicks.com and use the promo code NBA or go to your app store and download the app today. PrizePicks is a daily fantasy made easy. What's good, D?
What's going on, man? Good to be back with you. Huge game tonight. Can't wait to dive into it. First, we got to welcome everybody. Everybody, you're Locked On 76ers. I'm Devon Givens of 97.5 The Fanatic Radio in Philadelphia, alongside my co-host and partner from the Inquirer.com, Sixers beat writer Keith Pompey. How's Miami, Keith?
So far, so good.
No complaints with that weather, huh?
I mean, I slept with the window open last night. It actually was like the patio door. I was like, forget it, man. Like, no need to put the air on. No.
I hear you. Well, it's all good here, and the anticipation for tonight's game is really high here, and we need to dive into it, man, and try to preview this one for everybody tonight and get into why also this is probably, for me, a must-win situation for the 76ers with 2 possible games in 5 and 7 in Miami, 1 in Game 6 for sure. But in order for the Sixers to win this series, their best chance would be back here in Philadelphia on Thursday after taking the Miami Heat out tonight. But let's get into it. Previewing the game, obviously they won 116-108. So if they took both games on Friday and Sunday in Philadelphia, here we are in the game number 5. And the big difference, obviously, is it's an even series once again to start things up with the best of 3. But Joel Embiid is on the trip, Keith. So this is a big development for the Sixers, as well as they played in the first 2 games, and some issues with a few other things. But here we are right now. The keys to the game for you, man, when you look at this one and how this has to play out for the 76ers, what are you looking at for them to possibly steal Game 5? And we know the record really is the team who wins Game 5 typically wins the series.
I mean, I think they got to buck the trend. I mean, right now the trend has been that the home team shoots better. I mean, from 3. The home team, like the role players, have struggled on the road. And what I mean by that is, we need guys like the Sixers need guys like Danny Green, George Niang to come to life. Now, again, you are going to have Joel Embiid, but at the same time, it's one of those things where the crowd is going to get on you. Now the cheers that you heard the last 2 games are going to turn into boos and this and that, momentum, all this other stuff that's going to, factor in. But I think that in order for them to win, Danny Green has to come to play. George Niang has to be able to make some shots in order for the 76ers win. Again, I get it. Joel Embiid is here. He does have a presence. He makes everything better for them. But Danny Green and George Niang must knock down shots for them to win.
Yeah, in the last 2 games, and we've talked about this on the last podcast, but I think it's fair to have to bring this up one more time. 16 for 33 in both games in Philadelphia from beyond for the 76ers. Just a tremendous shooting percentage overall, and it kind of offset the other part, Keith, that I wanted to dive into. When you're on the road, any playoff game, at home, and they were able to get away with it, but being at home, once again, helped out because they were able to have Joel Embiid and do all the other things that they needed to do, and the shooting certainly helped. But when you're on a road like this, I can't reiterate it enough. Just because they continue to do it, turning the ball over at a high rate, they can't turn the ball over as much as they have in the last couple of games. 17 and 19 in the last 2 games, 36 turnovers. That's not going to get you a win on the road. So they must protect the basketball. That's a big key for me. Once again, protecting the basketball. I keep saying the same thing, giving yourself a chance because the possessions are so valuable, and you never know what could come from that. You cannot be a minus 12 in the field goal attempts category in the game against the Miami Heat. They're too good defensively. They can be stingy. And as you mentioned, they'll be on their home floor. So if things start to get going for them, where they now have the momentum back for them, then the Sixers will be putting themselves in a hole, especially the ones that are not really caused by the Miami Heat. They're unforced errors. They're dribbling into traffic and they just lose the basketball, or trying to go across court with some really tough passes, trying to connect with the teammates. And oftentimes we see that the passes don't even have zip on them. They're a little lazy and they don't reach their destination to the other teammates. So protecting the basketball, continue to rebound the basketball. And I do think, though, a lot of that has to do with Joel Embiid and how they have him out there now and making sure you put a body on the nearest man. And Tobias Harris has been very good about it. James Harden is starting to, again, rebound like we have seen during the regular season since he was acquired in that trade in February. They need to do those fundamental things. So the shooting, as you pointed out, rebounding, protecting the basketball, those are some keys for me for tonight's game as they get ready to go into a tough spot here in game number 5. But let's remind people, Keith, they were very good on the road in the regular season, and they can win on the road, and we'll see what they do. They won 2 games in Toronto in that other series, in the first series. They are a good road team. Now let's see if they can do that and carry that over for round number 2 in a big spot here. When we come back next, we talk about why, for me, and we'll get Keith's thoughts, why for me this is a must-win game for the Philadelphia 76ers in round number 2, game number 5. It's a best-of-3 series, folks. We'll talk about it next. Locked On 76ers.
I want to talk to you guys about Prize Picks. All right, NBA fans, are you looking for a daily fantasy option for the NBA? Then you need to try the award-winning app Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy made easy. I love this, and we know you will too. It's easy to use. You pick 2 to 5 players and an over-under on their projections, and you can win up to 10 times on any entry, and it's just you and the projected pick. Prize Picks is safe and offers fast withdrawal. Use the award-winning app on both the App Store and Google Play, right? Prize Picks offers a variety of options. Prize Picks offers any props you can think of, from points scored to rebounds, even steals, right? So what I need you to do is go to prizepicks.com. Like I said, it has an exclusive no-brainer offer for all of our users. Users get $50 for free if a player in your first Prize Picks entry scores a single point, but you must use the code NBA. That's right, it's an exclusive offer available for Locked On fans. Sign up today and use the NBA code. Use the code NBA, $50 for free, right? If a player in your first private entry scores a single point, I'm telling y'all, do it today, people. Do it today.
And I want to jump in and follow that with letting you know about Athletic Greens. It's a product that I've been using quite often as my schedule is really weird with the late night radio shows. Then you have an even later night because of the 76ers games, leaving the arena often very late, or the studio very late because of the length of the game. So I want to make sure I'm right. And again, making sure I'm eating healthy, I'm eating right, I'm drinking the right things. And I also get involved with Athletic Greens simply because it's something that's helped my immune system. I don't really like taking pills if I don't have to. So, or the vitamins. So, I wanted a supplement that actually tastes great and wanted to see what the hype was all about. And it has lived up to it. It's super healthy. and it doesn't taste bad at all. It has a kind of a mild tropical taste that I actually look forward to in the mornings that I am able to get this in. So look, I got to tell you, 75 high quality vitamin, minerals, whole food source, superfoods, and probiotics to help start your day right. This special blend of ingredients support your health, your gut health. I don't have to worry about that too much, but your nervous system, your immune system, and your energy. Need a lot of that energy, especially staying up late in the evening, recover, refocus, and again, the aging, not that old. Come on, y'all. Let's give me a break here. But look, it's pretty good. It's a lifestyle-friendly thing, whether you eat keto, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. Contains less than 1 gram of sugar. Anything while still tasting good. I like that type of thing where I'm still able to at least enjoy it. It costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper. And so instead of buying all those vitamins, getting involved with Athletic Greens, you're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. Also, Athletic Greens is a climate neutral certified company. In 2020, Athletic Greens purchased carbon credits that support projects protecting old growth rainforests as well. So listen, right now it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. So it's just 1 scoop of cup of water every day. You'll be fine. I'm telling you, that's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements. So to make it easy, Athletics Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs. So when you're out on the move with your purchase, you have these travel packs. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NBA network. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/NBA network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. That's Athletic Greens. Again, at athleticgreens.com/NBA network. And thank you for making Locked On 76ers your first listen. For your next listen, check out the Locked On Now podcast for nightly recaps of every NBA game with analysis from our local experts. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. You had 2 good games last night, Milwaukee and Boston. Boston tying that series up 2-2. And the Golden State Warriors taking a 3-1 lead over the Memphis Grizzlies. So make sure you check them out. Nightly recaps, Locked On Now podcast. Keith, with this game tonight for the 76ers and the Miami Heat, for me, and I haven't asked you this, it was part of something that I wanted to throw at you and throw a little surprise at you, which is I believe this is a must-win game for the 76ers. The best spot, you have the momentum, a little bit of the momentum. So did the Miami Heat going into Philadelphia, and the Sixers did their job of protecting their home floor. But if they want to complete this comeback from being down 0-2 and win this series, personally, I don't want to see a Game 7 if I can avoid it. So with this one, carry that momentum of what you've been able to do, the shooting with Green and Niang that you talked about, the other things that I laid out as well. Going into this one tonight, this is a must-win for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's a must-win. I mean, I get where you're coming from. I do, because then at the same, you're saying then it's like the pressure is on them. They got to win. Then they got to come back here and get another win, right? I think it would be nice for them to get a victory. I don't think it's a must-win. I think it changes things if they lose, right? Now, if they lose and then it's like, uh-oh, here we go. But I don't think it's quite a must-win yet. I don't. But it will be important in regards of, making them feel a little comfortable, in regards to remaining like you could put, a lack of a better term, go for their juggler, so to speak, in Game 6, right? But I think that they have to go in there with the mindset as if this is a must-win. But I think that if they lose this, they still may have, a chance in this series. They just have to, they have to steal Game 7. They have to win Game 6 and still and win Game 7 to win this series, which could be tough for them. But I understand what you're saying. But I still think if they lose, they still have some hope. I still believe they have some.
And they absolutely have a chance. They absolutely have hope if they don't win this game tonight, because they've done what they've done at home as well. They can even things up. I just don't want to see them have to go back to Miami, make you get on the plane once again, although you're not complaining about visiting Miami one bit. You just simply
Nobody.
you just simply want to make it easier on yourself by carrying all of that momentum into it, whether it's James Harden playing again at a high level for this game number 5, and not having to once again get on that plane, because you can force and have their, as the number 1 seed, have their backs against the wall after doing what you did on their home floor. Someone is going to win, you would hope, or think that someone is going to win one of these road games. Now, maybe not. Maybe Miami wins tonight, the Sixers win on Thursday, and then they lose on Sunday in that final game of the 7-game series. But for me, man, just the way that they are playing, having Embiid back, the struggles of Kyle Lowry right now as well, with him fighting through that injury, tough as nails, but you could see that it's bothering him. So with all the treatment that he's getting once the game gets started, he played better in game 4 than he did in game 3, but he's still not himself. So while he is not himself and he is out there, you got to take advantage of those types of things. The defense has to remain as good as it was here in Philadelphia, and do all of that. I think that, for me, just to lay it out, it's a must-win for me. Not that they won't have a chance to win those other 2 games, but to go up 3-2, and now the pressure being on Miami to lose 3 games in a row, to lose 3 straight, and looking at the 76ers team, and now they are, as the veterans that they have and all that stuff. I mean, Keith, they were so frustrated, the Miami Heat were, with how things. You saw PJ Tucker in games 3 and 4. We know how he plays, but we've also seen him not have to resort to the things that he was doing, the hitting. Matisse Thybulle, for all people. What is Matisse Thybulle going to do? He's not trying to fight anybody and get super physical in a way like that. They were frustrated by the way things were going. They will be more comfortable at home. If the Sixers can frustrate them again, I don't know how they would handle things under pressure in a game 6 in the environment that would be the center on Thursday night. Must win for me. I'm sticking to it.
All right. Well, okay. I hope they, for your case, I hope they win.
Hey, listen, I'm not shooting the basketball. I'm not bouncing it. I just get to talk about it.
I will say this about PJ Tucker the thing that he did.
And by the way, I would love to have PJ Tucker on my team.
Oh yeah, but what he did is, the thing that people don't understand is they used to do that to the Sixers all the time in the past. And the Sixers used to fold. They would go after certain guys, and next thing you know, the Sixers wouldn't fight back. I mean, they just wouldn't. And so to me, it kind of like it showed a little growth in the 76ers that they were like, nah, brother, this ain't boy. You can't get away with that. That schoolyard bullying, that's not working anymore. So to me, it looked like, I know it could have been frustration, but it was also a tactic that they used when the going got tough for them, and the Sixers used to crumble.
Well, true, and I like the fact that even though Matisse Thybulle, again, I said he's not looking for any type of altercation or anything like that. I liked what he did in fighting back, because he stopped mid-play and got right in his face, like, yo. Now he backed up a little bit because, again, he's not that type of person. That's not what he's doing. I like that he did that. And the other part, what I mean about their frustration too, is when Max Strus fouled out, he went to the sideline getting ready to check out. He smacked the scorer's table so hard out of frustration because of the officials and all of that, how he felt the game was called that night. They were frustrated. Yeah. They were very frustrated. After every foul call, they were frustrated. And the Sixers need to take advantage of that tonight in this game number 5. But Keith, final segment for us, man. Got to talk about one James Harden and see if he can have the same impact. Maybe not duplicate the performance, but the same type of impact to help his team take a 3-2 series lead and force an elimination game for Miami on Thursday night. We'll do that next right here on Locked On 76ers.
We good? I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, you have that next one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh man, we messed this up. BetOnline. Sorry about that, y'all. I thought D. My bad. BetOnline. Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports development, including this year's basketball playoffs, Major League Baseball scores, fights, and even next season's NFL futures or NLF futures. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sport wagering information, from live betting to playoffs, esports, and more. Head to the website today and use your mobile device and learn more about the trends and actions. BetOnline, where the game starts. Do it today, people. Do it today. And guess what? Don't blame D.
Hey, man. Listen, that's all right. These are live, man. Things happen. That's
Lord. Yeah. Yeah, I wish it wasn't live though. Hey, cut.
Things happen. So, man, now look, everyone was talking about the James Harden game, the 31-point performance after win number 2 and game number 4 on Sunday. And all we wanted to know, man, is if this is something that he can have the same type of impact, not the 31 points, because maybe that's not doable once again. But what is doable is simply just winning and playing at a high level and making the right calls for the game. So, Keith, as you look at this one, being around the team in Miami, as we get ready for this game here tonight, the team itself, they feel pretty good about where they are, and James Harden also feels pretty good about where they were from game number 4 and what's ahead of them after his performance.
Yeah, I mean, but it's one of those things where it's a great start. They everybody says confident things. Of course, they're going to say it, but again, not again, but it's one of those things. I guess it's a wait and see type of thing, because like this guy, yes, he looked like Houston game. Sorry, I mean he did in the fourth quarter, hitting all those threes. That's the first time we've seen that since the first couple games,
right?
In regular season, so. There was a time when, he's going to deny it, but even he made a couple shots and he had that look like, oh, wow, it's working for me tonight, like the shot thing. So for me to say you're going to Miami, which is going to be, a crazy place down here. The crowd is going to be at yelling and all this, kind of like a hostile environment. I mean, I can't come out there and with 100% confidence saying this dude is going to knock down these shots again in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? And then again, it was also, if you notice, in the fourth quarters in the past, he's been more the distributor, getting Maxey the ball. Well, next thing you know, Maxey and Tobias were getting different looks, and he was able to open things up. So it'll be good for the Sixers, but I'm not one of those people saying, yes, he has arrived. He's here now. Harden's back. Nah, I got to see a couple more games of that.
Well, it's just simply about one game at a time now going forward. And if he can just contribute in any way to help the squad out, as you pointed out, a lot of times he likes to get started early with the scoring. And then in the second half, that's when he'll pick up his facilitating role and making sure that things are set properly down the stretch where they're executing the way that they need to in order to close the game out. They have to execute. They have to run through their sets. They have to, with the physicality, they have to be strong from the start, because the Miami Heat, they were the more physical team in the first quarter. The Sixers did ultimately pick it up later. They got into the bonus pretty early in the fourth quarter, where they were able to get to the foul line on whether it was a shooting foul or not, because they were the more aggressive team, the more physical team. That must start from the opening tip, not to get yourself in foul trouble, but to just simply be more aggressive, to collect those fouls, pile them up, get to the free throw line. That can frustrate a team. And Miami is a slow team as well, oftentimes. So they can play that game. But as I mentioned in the last segment, they get a little frustrated. They don't like the calls going a certain way. You can see that now bleed itself into their play and how their decision-making goes as well. So force some turnovers, get in the open floor, get some transition buckets, make sure you knock down the shots as you talked about, but be the more physical team, be the aggressor, and once again, execute offensively, especially when they throw those small lineups out there with PJ Tucker at the 5 or Jimmy Butler playing Joel Embiid. Same thing with Victor Oladipo sneaking in there, Max Strus. Also, if Dwayne Dedmon is not playing and they have to go again with the smaller lineup, they have to make sure that they handle that zone well and not turn the ball over. Hit those passes over the top to Embiid, get him some easy looks, some easy buckets, and see if they can drop. And also, heck, why not have Embiid have a game where he is in the mid to high 20s again, and maybe even creep into the 30s because his shot is now falling. He's feeling a little better with that mask. See if Joel Embiid can play a little bit better. We've laid off of him just simply because it's difficult to play with that mask on, and he still has the torn ligament in his thumb. But what if he does elevate himself, especially, Keith, with the report out there that he is not the MVP, and that is going to be Nikola Jokic for the second consecutive season. With him losing, the only thing left for him to do that Jokic can't not do is win a playoff game and win the series. So we'll see how he handles all of that being back on the floor. Let the play do the talking for him.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, but he kind of had to know he wasn't going to win it. Like, he even mentioned that. But it all came out. The thing that he has to understand is, like, that first quarter, he was on fire. But if you looked at it, a lot of other people weren't getting touches. Like, it was just all him. And then he got gassed, too, and got tired. So I think that the best thing for Embiid to do is play within himself, get everybody involved, also do all the other things that he normally does. And then when it's time to take over, take over. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see him running out of gas early because it's making the game personal, thinking he has to will the Sixers to win it in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
If he plays the right way, he'll be fine. Yeah.
Yep. Play within yourself, give you and your team a chance to win. And we're talking about something pretty interesting for the next game on Thursday night. Well, Keith, I think they win tonight, and that's just me not putting you on the spot for a prediction. I do think they win this game tonight and come back here to Philadelphia with a 3-2 series lead and win 3 consecutive games and have Miami on the brink of elimination beginning on Thursday night. Thanks for making Locked On 76ers your first listen every day, folks. And on our next episode tomorrow, we will be recapping the game. Someone will be up 3-2. Who will it be? I think it will be the 76ers. We'll discuss it all tomorrow. Now, make your second listen Locked On NBA, where Locked On experts are covering the biggest stories around the NBA every Monday through Friday in less than 30 minutes. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Keith, as always, man, thanks so much. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll catch up tomorrow after the 76ers and the Heat's game number 5.
Deuces. And look, y'all know what to do. Y'all need to go to this Locked On 76ers YouTube podcast and subscribe. And guess what? You might miss me thinking this D's live read is mine again. But just do that. Do that. And also make sure you follow us on Twitter. You follow my man at Devon G975 and follow me at Pompey on Sixers. Do
Absolutely.
it today, people. Do it today.
Do it today, folks. Sixers, do it today and get it done so we can get this thing closed out on Thursday night. Keith, thanks, man. Enjoy the game. We'll talk tomorrow.
All right, peace.
All right, man.